You have to create an undying, almost unrealistic belief in yourself. And I don't care what you're doing, do it. It's worth it. Every day when my kids leave me, like I drop them off at school, I say, "Who's the man?" And they say, "Me, Dad." They're the man. Because I need that. I need that ingrained in their head. And everyone's like, "Yeah, you worry about them being too cocky and arrogant?" Look, I'd much rather work on bringing it down than building it up. Building it up is so fucking hard. Building it up when it's broken is so fucking hard.
You are now listening to the podcast where authors inspire listeners to become authors, the Going North Podcast. I'm your host, certified self-leadership trainer, best-selling author, and book enthusiast, DomBrightmon. And you're going to be listening to a different author that will inspire you to join the business of immortality, known as authorship. Now let the fun begin. New episode, new review to highlight, and this one is from Diana Boer, and she left a 5-star review titled Inspirational and Practical. Love the show. The host has an easy, laid-back interview style, giving ample time for guests to share their practical tips and inspirational thoughts. Thanks a bunch, Diana, for leaving that 5-star review about what you like about the show. And if you, too, like something about the podcast, leave us a review and we'll highlight it during a future episode. Now let's get on with today's episode. And today on the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, known as the Going North Podcast, we got another super special, awesome human for you today, my friends. That's right, indeed. You're going to be in for a treat that's good enough to eat, indeed, because we got our best-selling bookcaster in the building, y'all, because not only is my man put pen to paper and wrote a best-selling book, he's also a fellow podcast host, my friends. That's right, indeed. And on top of that is a father, husband, entrepreneur, professional mixed martial artist, as well as a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and TEDx speaker. So let's give it up for the electrifying and masterful Eliot Marshall.
Dom, how you doing, man? Appreciate you having me on.
Appreciate having you on too, my man. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. Especially, I think you're the first ever guy who fought in the UFC on the podcast. So
Okay.
Definitely honored to have you on, man.
Right. It's low hanging fruit. So, for me.
Well, when you fight for your life and then you eventually write a book afterwards.
Yeah, the best-selling thing's always kind of weird, right? Because you promote it and you sell it that way, but it's an Amazon bestseller. So you hit that shit for a weekend and then you get it, right? So it's not like a New York Times or something like that. Like it's way different than, but I hit it. So you put it on the gram, right? And if you put it on the gram and out on the internet, therefore it's true.
There you go. Put it on the gram and it's true. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. And the good news is the book weighs more than a gram, indeed. So my goodness. So since you've been on so many podcasts, my goodness, if you're to really describe your journey up to now on to the Eliot that you are today in 3 words, what would they be and why?
It's a path of failure, is what I would say. It's just a path of failure. I failed at everything I ever tried. I tried to be a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion and I failed at that. Got close, but not a champion. Tried to be a UFC world champion and I failed at that. So, and then that was, the first, let's just say 30 years of my life. So you just marched, but you keep trying, right? You just keep trying. You just keep doing what the quote says behind me, like right behind my head. You enter the arena. Because it's not about the man who is defeated. It's about the man whose face is marred with blood and dust and tears, and who chooses to enter valiantly into the arena where he knows both the triumph of high achievement and the bitter sadness of defeat. And it's just a lot of defeat. It's just a lot of failure. And then every once in a while, right? Like like if you tilt, like, oh, there was a win, right? You got a championship belt. You have these medals. You got a championship belt. You open a school and it works. Then you open another one and it works. But in between the one to the two is just a whole lot of fucking up, man. It's just a massive amount of blowing it. You just have to not take it super personally. You have to be able to assess your failure and go, okay, this was good, this was bad, move on. Okay, you take what was good, you get rid of what was bad, and you just keep doing that. You just get so good at failing that it doesn't fuck with you that much anymore. And whatever, you take the little wins as they come. And every once in a while, you get a big one. And when you get a big one, the key is to realize it probably wasn't really that much you. You know, it was the people you surrounded yourself with. It was timing. It was luck. It was staying in the game long enough. You know, that's the big success, is staying in the game long enough, not getting too discouraged, not crying too much. And then, you know, you get real lucky. And what I call luck, right? And people get so fucking mad about this word, luck. What I call lucky is the ability or the luck that your hard work massively pays off. Because there's so many people, bro, that work harder than me. Think about like the single mom who has 3 jobs and is, you know, in Baltimore, right? Like worrying about like, is her kid going to make it home every night? Because it's so fucking dangerous. And she goes to work at 1 job, she goes to work at 2 jobs, she gets home at midnight, goes to sleep, gets up at 5 to get the kids ready, does whatever she has to do for herself, get them out the door, and then goes and then repeats. Man, this lady's working so much harder than me. This lady's working so much harder than I have ever worked. Consistently for years and years and years, she's going to do this just to get her kid maybe into college or through high school and into a trade school or something, right? With the pressure of being Black in America, you know, because I'm my dad's Black. That's pressure, man. That's real hard work. That's real hard work. I've never worried about a meal, like never. I've never worried about where one's coming from. No, it's just not been my experience. So who worked hard? Who works harder? I didn't say it's more efficient. I said harder. So I get to work hard and I get massive payoffs with people, with finance. Like I'm financially do well. I hit the egg lottery, man. I had good parents at the right time. I had nothing to do with the martial arts industry booming, right when I retired from fighting, right? Like I had nothing to do with being in the heyday of martial arts. I was born in 1980. My parents put me in a karate school in 1986. How they didn't fucking know what was coming in, you know, the early 2000s. My thing took off, you know? And I put massive hours in. Yeah, very true. I put massive hours in.
Heck yeah, indeed. Massive hours indeed. And artfully said, like, man, goodness, basically a path of failure because they eventually created some success for you. Because, hey, it's like, hey, you weren't able to be a UFC heavyweight champion, but you're still able to open up multiple martial arts school, if I'm not mistaken, in the Denver area, right? In
Yeah, you have to
Colorado.
pivot. Yeah, we have
Yeah.
8 of them now. We just opened our 8th one. You have to pivot. You know, you have to be able to pivot. Like the career was over. Like, I mean, what's the number one thing you see with fighters? They fight too long, right? They fight too long because they can't handle the emotions of retiring or this or that or who knows what, right? You fight way too long, way past your prime, especially in MMA, especially when you're not that good. You're fighting on these low level piece of shit shows when you've been to the big time, and you have nothing to show for your career afterwards. So you better be able to pivot. I'm still in the martial arts industry. I'll always be in the martial arts industry. But now I'm in the real estate business, and now I own a basketball club because my kids are into basketball. I'm into the online coaching space a little bit with our product, Easton Online, with the schools. Like, so what you really need to realize is you got to be in the people business. I don't care what business you're in, man, you're in the people business. The vehicle's the vehicle. Martial arts is my vehicle. Some people, I don't know, guns. Some people, cars. Some people, this, you know? But you're not in that business. That's just the thing. You're in the people business. You have to be able to relate to people, talk to someone, communicate well, tell them your ideas. And then if you really want to grow and you really want to like do a thing, you got to get other people on board with your vision. And to do that, you have to be able to communicate. You have to be able to see other people's perspectives. You can't be an asshole. Unless you're an asshole like Steve Jobs or Elon Musk and they changed the world. But most of us aren't them.
Good point. Good point indeed. Good point indeed. And you're so right about that pivoting too, because basically being able to switch over to the multiple businesses that you own. Because like I remember reading part of your book where you had to take that fight, if I'm not mistaken, was the Dominican Republic, where they promised you what was
Mm-hmm.
it, $5,000, and then it turns
15,000.
out they're $15,000. It goes to find out no money happened.
Yeah, the check bounced.
Yeah,
But
and
like that's just a part of the journey, right? That everyone wants to look back with regret, and that word's just kind of silly. One, you can't do anything about it, and for me, I just asked myself one question, like, all right, I got these two kids, right? I have two boys, so if you would have changed one thing in your past, like before my kids, let's say, okay, if you change just one little thing, you have no clue the ripple effect that will have on your life, and then maybe you don't have these two kids, and you go, oh, we have different two kids. I don't want two different kids. You can imagine everything else being different. You can imagine a different wife, a different house, a different everything, because we've lived in different houses and we've dated different girls, or if you're gay, different partners. But I've never had any other kids, and I don't fucking want any other kids. So if you ask me if I was gonna do my life differently, and with that being a risk, not having these two kids, nah, fuck it, I'm good.
That's what I'm talking about, indeed. True dad swag right there, indeed. So, my goodness, man. So, now that you're in this space with all these irons in the fire, man, like what helps you to really keep all these things afloat, man? Because being able to have all those martial arts dojos and
Oh, we have a
a
great team.
basketball club, like,
Yeah, I have a great team. I have a great team with the martial arts schools. I don't have to do a ton. Shake hands, kiss babies, vision, teach really good classes, meet on higher level things, but I don't have anything to do with the day to day. Like we have a team we've created that we give them power and we pay them. So that's one. The real estate stuff, gotta pay attention. I'm not really great at it, but like is what it is. I'm not like some real estate mogul. I find buildings and things for when I need one, and then you move and shake a little bit, and I got really lucky. I got massively lucky on a couple of them, but that wasn't me. The basketball thing's a passion project with my kids. My kids are hoopers. They want to play ball in college. So what's my job? My job is to create the most opportunity possible for them to follow their dreams so that their hard work can massively pay off. Right? Because, I'm a bastard to them about work. Like I'm a fucking tyrant. But it takes what it takes, man. Like this is part of the problem with what we got going on right now is it takes what it takes. Like what it takes to be a D1 player, a D2 player, a college player, they're not going to fucking lower that standard. And wanting it, and too often we do so much of this blah 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 with our mouth, and we say we want it, but like your words don't mean fucking shit. Yeah, they mean absolutely nothing. What are your actions? Are you putting in, like for my kids in the basketball, my one's 10, so I can only ask so much of him at 10, right? If he hoops for 10 hours a week, that's a lot, right? But my oldest one really wants it, so he's got to hoop for 3 hours a day, 3 to 4 hours a day. Like, what does it take to get a good shot? It takes 10,000 shots. So 200 a day, that's a while. That's a while. 200 days a lot. 200 shots a day is hours on the basketball court. You got to be able to dribble. You got to be able to pass. You got to be able to rebound. You got to understand the game. This takes years of practice. It takes what it takes, and everyone wants it right now. And then you don't get it in 2 months, and you're like, it's not fair. Fuck yeah, it's not fair. You're damn right it's not fair. It's never been fair, though. When's it been fair?
Never at this point.
Never.
It ain't never going to be fair.
It's never going to be fair. It's never going to be fair. So fuck it. It's just a stupid word.
Oh, man. So, my goodness, man, solid point you brought up there. So, what helped you to get into writing and finally publish your first book?
I said I wanted to do it. Somebody told me how to do it, and I did it. I contacted a company, paid them, and talked to my ghostwriter for I don't know, like fucking 70 hours or something. Got it done. Yeah, I hate that book, by the way.
Oh, what makes you hate it?
I just disagree with some of the stuff I said. I've learned, I've changed, I've grown, and I've, you know, fuck it. But you should, I think you should hate it, right? If you have the same opinions and, you know, a decade later, 7, 8 years later, that you did, you know, some of them, like I like some of them. Like I don't hate everything I said, but some of it wasn't real well thought out. It's too raw. I can't articulate what I was feeling and saying as well as I can now. So
From that standpoint,
whatever, it's all good.
that's valid. I hear you on that one too, because yeah, especially since it's been years since the book's been out, but still just growing after that book. So do you think you're gonna write another one or
No,
make a version 2?
no. Why would I? I'm not. I'm not. I'm not Jordan Peterson. They're not. They're not paying me $500,000 up front to write a book. So I'm doing less, man. Like my less is more for me. I'm super clear on where my life is going for the time being. Like I said, my kids are hoopers. My oldest is about to go into he's in 8th grade, so he'll be a freshman next year. It is going to be super important to me, like super important to me that I don't miss shit. Like I cannot miss shit because I can do a lot of things, right? You can make money, you can do a whole host of things, but one thing I can't do is get this time back with those kids, right? Because then they're going to be out of my house in 5 years. One will be gone, and then 3 years later, the other one will be gone. But my house will never be the same again in 5 years. We'll be down to one kid. I can't get this time back, man. I can't make him come back and live high school and do this high school and do this hoop thing with him and with the other one. Another thing, my wife, she's been super supportive of everything I've ever done, and I'm a go getter. So she took the back seat for that. So and it's time for her not to take the back seat. My parents are in their mid-70s. They don't live near me, right? So there's going to come a time where my life is going to completely change. They won't be here. So what do I want to do? I want to work. I want to grind. I want to be a fucking man, all this shit you hear on Instagram and the internet, about what a man should be, like grinding and going and making it happen. And like, what am I going to just keep doing that forever and then not see my mom and dad again? I can't get it back. So, and then I have some athletes, right? I have a couple athletes still that I love dearly that have stuck with me for years and years, and I'll never abandon them. I'll never abandon them. I will never abandon the students that I teach, going to the school and teaching. So I'm teaching jiu-jitsu, training fighters, the couple that I have, doing this kid thing with my kids, which includes now basketball program and things like that. Me and my wife are spending some time together, and I'm going to see my parents. So less is more, dog, because it sounds arrogant. It sounds terrible to say. It's, I don't even know if it does or not. I've done enough. At some point, enough's enough.
Hey, you're at that stage now where you have that extra wisdom now because you're so right. It's kind of funny how it works where you put a lot of energy and a lot of work to a point where it's like you work less on the things that don't matter. You try to zero in and laser focus in on the things that truly matter. And that sounds like that's where you are now today.
I mean, and like, you look at your level of income, right? Is one of the things you do. And you go, okay, if I doubled it, let's say I doubled my income. Well, and if you double your income from 50,000 to 100,000, that's a pretty solid double, right? Maybe
Right.
100 to 200 is a pretty solid double. 200 to 400, you don't really live that much different. You just don't, right? You're doing the same things. You're not flying private, right? You're not flying private jets. At 800,000, you're not flying private jets. You have to get into the millions of millions, so you're not renting yachts. So it's all relative. And I know that can sound shitty, maybe a little bit, but like, and I'm not discrediting that, going from 10 to 20 is a massive amount. 20 to 40 is massive because you're just dirt broke poverty. But once it keeps going, like, you make $1 million a year, let's say, making 2 million doesn't do it. Like, it's way more money, but it doesn't do anything to your life. You probably spent way more money on some shit you don't even remember. you know Like, okay, you buy a Bugatti or a fucking Lambo, okay? But you're still just driving a car. You're still just driving a really nice car. But you're driving a really nice car at $400,000 a year. So right now, I'm going to spend some time with my kids and my wife and my mom and dad and teaching jiu-jitsu and these adopted kids I have through basketball. And if I make less money, I make a little bit less money.
Yep, there you go. Indeed, focusing on what really matters. Indeed, because it happens.
Nobody when they died, no one said they wish they made more money. Not broke people and not rich people. Like, not a single person has ever been like, man, you know what? I spent too much time making money. A lot of people say that, but no one said, you know what? I spent too much time with my kids, right? No one said I spent too much time with my mom and dad, and they love me, and my friends that really, really care about me, and giving back to people. No one in there ever has been like, I should have worked more and made a couple more million. Never has anyone said that. And never is, like, all relative, right? So I haven't talked to everyone that's ever died.
Yeah, you have to live multiple lifetimes for that one. You have to be literally immortal for that one.
Yeah.
It'll be a real gospel of fire then.
Yeah,
So
right.
my goodness. So my goodness, man, since you've been on so many interviews on the guest side of the game, is there a question that you wish folks would ask you more often?
I wish folks would ask me more often. There's a problem that I see that I love to talk about. I think we have a big male problem in the world, like men, not really being men. And I have an interesting take on it. I think, it's this mix of vulnerability and strength, and strength. Like, I cry, I have anxiety. I have massive breakdowns, and periodically, it seems like every 6 to 7 years they come, 5 to, somewhere in that period. It's crippling. It's terrible. It's, I wrote about it in my book. I'll talk about it on my Instagram. I'll be very honest when it happens. I go to therapy. I hope to, and get the fuck up and work when it's time to work. All of that being said, you got to do what it takes. I got to raise my kids. I got to make sure there's food on the table. I got to make sure that I have a purpose in my life, and that I'm paying attention to this emotion that's happening to me. This, like, when this stuff comes, okay, and ask once, you can't ask the question while you're in, like, the depths of it. But once you get some space from it, right? Once you get a little touch space from it, what was this? Why did this happen? Why did this occur? What am I missing in my life? Where am I a little off? Where can I adjust? So most of what you see is, be a fucking man, get in an ice bath, fucking, run like David Goggins. And I have nothing wrong with any of this stuff, right? Like, run like David Goggins, if that's your fucking thing. I take ice baths. I get in the cold every day. It's great. I exercise, I have purpose, and I still suffer. So, that's all. But we have to find this mix of real empathy, real vulnerability, and real strength. I've talked about it a ton, like the fucking lions not sheep thing, man. It drives me insane. I fucking hate it. Because no lion fucking screams they're a lion. They don't wear shirts that say I'm a fucking lion. Like, you watch football,
Right.
you're sad, right? The Ravens lost. The Chiefs
Yeah.
won, right? Like, so every Chiefs player got a shirt that said what? AFC champion. Okay.
There you go.
And then in 2 weeks, either the Chiefs or the 49ers are going to get a shirt that says what? Super Bowl champion.
Super Bowl
what are those
champions,
motherfuckers going to do with that shirt? Never wear it again.
Yep.
Right? Never wear it again. Like, Tom Brady doesn't wear a shirt that says GOAT on it. That says
Nope.
I'm the Super Bowl champion. No, because why? Everyone fucking knows. Everyone knows Tom Brady's currently the best. Patrick Mahomes might catch him. But currently, right? And when you ask who the GOAT is, it's him. Michael Jordan has never, ever called himself the GOAT. Never.
Mm-hmm.
He lets all of us do that because he's a real lion. Real lions don't say they're lions, man. Real lions walk slow. They walk real slow. They do their thing. But if you fuck up, now you're going to find out, right? Now you're going to find out, dog. Now you're going to find out if you fuck up. But you don't got to tell everyone. Do I get to say I'm a good dad? No. No, I can't say I'm a good dad. I'm the fucking one I'm the one everyone's that my kids and my wife are judging. I'm a good dad, I promise. They have to say it. They have to say it. Am I a good husband? You got to ask my wife. Am I a good son? Talk to my parents. Am I a good teacher? Talk to my students. But we go around, I'm this, I'm that. Man, shut the fuck up. Work.
Solid point indeed. Solid point indeed. Heck, even funny enough, the next problem reminds me of the good old participation trophy problem that kind of led to what's going on today. So my goodness,
we're not real with our kids, right? We're not real with our kids. We protect them too much. Fail your classes, right? Give them an F and then hold them back. If they fail, they fail. That's what it is. That's what it is. There should be 0 trophies for participating after 6 years old. And look, it's happened to my kid's playing in a YMC rec league with his friends, right? He's just playing. We like, he doesn't need to play in this league. He wants to play with his friends and blah, blah. Okay, fine, buddy. We played a game. The score was tied at the end of the game. And they didn't run an overtime. Run any overtime you fucking want. First basket, 2 minutes, something. First to score twice. I don't give a rat's ass, but someone's got to win. The fuck are we doing? Someone has to win. And then let the kids that lost go deal with losing. It's the best teacher. It's the question you asked me right away. It's the number one teacher. What am I bad at? And we don't let our kids lose. And then they think they're good at something. And they think they're good at something until they're 18, 19 years old. And then the world's going to tell you, right? The world's going to tell you whether you're good or not. Okay. And when the world tells them that they're not good, they go, oh, it's because I'm a man, or it's because I'm a woman, or it's because I'm black, or it's because I'm this, or it can't be you. It's you. It's you. But we did such a bad job of preparing our kids for the road. I'm stealing this line from the book, Coddling of the American Mind. You have 2 options. You can prepare your kid for the road, or you can try to prepare the road for the kid. The problem is you don't know what the road looks like. So the other way is prepare the kid. Prepare the kid for any road. Hilly, downhill, uphill, steep, windy, snowy, icy, rainy, slick, fucking oil slicked, whatever. You prepare the kid for the road. And that way, when the road appears in their life, they might not like it. It's going to be hard. They might fall down, but they know how to they know how to get up. They can get up and they can go slower. They can go faster if they need to. They can do whatever they want because they've seen this before. They've seen it in small little increments as they aged, right? Small little things. Okay, my dad and mom made this harder for me. Then they did this, but they made it more difficult. Now, this is for the privileged, what I'm talking about, right? Because the unprivileged, like the kid in the inner city of Baltimore, his life's hard enough, man. We got to try to find ways to equalize out the opportunities for that kid to get out. And so there's 2 different paths. You still got to prepare them for the road, but we got to get these kids more education. We got to get these kids more love. We got to get more men in their life, like real men, okay, that take care of their shit. Because we know the number one thing for males is the absent father. Right? It's probably for female. I think it's probably for females too, right? The absent father is what is destroying our generations of children. White, black, doesn't fucking matter. No dad, not good. Got to get males in their life. The female's kind of naturally built in because the mom has so much child rearing to do. Like the mom really doesn't, like, you don't see the mom bouncing a lot. Because I'm not saying the mom's not necessary. The mom's massively necessary. But they obviously are doing their job a lot. They don't fucking leave. You need real positive male role models so that you can prepare the kids, for what's coming. not protect them.
Yes,
Like I said,
sir, indeed.
I'm a bastard to my kids. They were homesick today, but they weren't that sick. They did the dishes, they got the trash, they cleaned the fucking kitchen. If I'm sick, does that shit have to get done? Yep.
Yeah. It has
Yep. Got to get done.
Gotta get it done regardless.
You know, I didn't make them I didn't make them play basketball. I didn't make them go to school because that's a little extra. You know, we got to save it. But you know, the basics, and you're not that sick. If you're like 103 fever, like got it. You know, we're gonna miss the trash this week. We'll find a dumpster and fucking dump that shit in later. You know, we'll save it for next week. But like, they're not that sick. They're okay. It's gonna be a little uncomfortable. What are you gonna do? And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm an asshole.
I imagine a couple decades down the road, they're gonna look back and be like, you know what? I thank my dad for making me strong as a brick wall.
Everyone wants their kids. People want their kids to like them. I want my kids to love and respect me. And I'm going to love and respect them back. I don't need them to like me till they're 30. When they're 30, I hope we're liking each other. But I'm not concerned with them liking me right now.
Wise policy. My goodness. Well, speaking of 30, I know you weren't that much of far into your late bloomer, but in your book, you mentioned you're kind of a late bloomer because of your rough upbringing, man. So any advice for those out there who may be currently in their late blooming stage or about to reach it, for those who need to overcome that?
Look, I did not have a rough upbringing. Like, I had great parents. I had some shit happen because my mom's a Jew whose grandparents survived the Holocaust, and my dad's black, and that wasn't super kosher in 1980 when I was born. And then the town we lived in made it even worse. I never missed a meal. My parents absolutely loved me and did everything they possibly could for me. I more than didn't miss a meal, man. I went to Disney World when I was a kid. I had things. The world came to show me how cruel it could be early. We'll say that. But outside of that, like, I had a very loving household. What was the question? Anything for late bloomers, people that are struggling in their 30s?
Oh yeah, back even late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, man. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Ask yourself a question. What do you want your life to look like? And then work backwards. Get all the way down to what do you have to do today? Break it down into 3-month chunks. What do I want my life to look like in 5 years? Okay. If I want my life to look like this in 5 years, what am I going to have accomplished in 3 years? Okay, great. That's what I have to get. This is where I have to be in 3 years. So in the beginning of the year. So January 2027, it's got to look like this. Okay. To get to the 3-year mark, what do I have to accomplish this year? What is January 2025? What's that shit going to look like? Okay, it's going to look like this. Awesome. What are the 10 things that are going to get me to January 2025? That's what they are. Okay, these 10 things. All right, let's tackle 3 in the next 3 months. Let's tackle these 3 things in the next 3 months. How am I going to get? So, because now it's just a small goal, right? Now it's just this really, it's 3 small little things. And then you just write them on, put them on your fucking calendar. Put what you have to do to get to this goal. In, you know, like my kids in basketball. If I have to get up, you know, he's got to get 20,000 shots this year, right? Let's say, let's go easier number, 24,000 shots. That's 2,000 shots a month. Okay. So 2,000 shots a month. So we know that. So how is he going to get to 2,000 shots this month? He has 31 days. Let's just call it 30 days in a month to keep it simple. You know, you're going to miss some because you're going to have games. You know, you got school because you're a young kid. So 5 days. So how many shots is that? You know, so let's say you're going to miss 2 days, 3 days. Okay. So you're going to miss 3 days. So what do we say? How many a month? 2,000?
Yep, 2,000 a month.
So if you're going to miss 3 days a week, so 4 times 4, let's say, so you're going to get 4 in, 4, 16. Divide 16 by 2,000. Let's just call it 20, just to make it easy numbers, right? You got to get 100 shots up in every on 4 days. Every 4 days a week, you got to get 100 shots up. That's going to get you to 2,000, right? That's going to get you to 2,000 this month. Now look, that 2,000, you hear that number, you're like, God damn, that's 24,000. That's fucking massive. But 4 days a week, you got to get 100 shots up. So 4 days a week for 4 days a week, you're going to spend an hour and get 100 shots up. That's how long it takes to get 100 shots up. You're talking about 4 hours a week. Not a lot of hours, right?
Sounds like the real 4-hour work week right there.
Right. So put your fucking PlayStation down, or your Xbox, or whatever the hell else you're doing, whatever computer game you're on, and go put your shots up. 4 hours. You can go ahead, play all the Xbox you want after that, but you need this. Now, I disagree with the Xbox thing, but no, and I let my kids play Xbox, right? They play video games on the weekends. But that's what you do. You work backwards. You have to set this. It's called a BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want it to look like? And then go backwards. 3 years, 5 years. I'm sorry, 5 years, 3 years, 1 year. The next 3 months today. And you got to write it down. You got to write it down and hold yourself accountable. Wake up in the morning. Look at what you have to do. Meditate, pray, say thank you. I don't care who you pray to. I pray to whoever I want. I don't really pray to anyone. I have no clue I'm fucking praying to. But it makes me feel good. You know? Eat healthy. Rest, exercise, and do whatever you wrote down. At the end of your day, assess. Oh, okay, what did I do well today? Great. What do I need to do tomorrow? How can I be more skillful? Okay, got it. Repeat. It's boring. It's really, really boring. There's nothing sexy to it. Nothing. Zero. There's zero sexy to it. Most days suck. They're dull. They're monotonous. I shouldn't say most days suck. Most days, my days are amazing. Most days are monotonous. Most days are the same thing. But that's how you get better. It's not going to be tomorrow. My kid's going to be better at basketball in a year. He's not going to be better in 2 months. In 1 year, he'll be better at basketball than he is today. He's going to be the same player in 2 months. And then if he keeps working, I believe work looks like compound interest. It starts to build on itself, right? It starts to build on itself and build on itself. So hopefully by the time he's a junior and senior, some colleges are looking at him. And then from there, you just get in the game. Once you're in the game, anything can happen.
So I'm talking about indeed.
Yeah, and so it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're 10 and you're listening to this, do that. If you're 25, do that. If you're 50 and you don't like where your life is, do that. If fucking COVID-19 2 comes and wipes out my family, well, my fucking answer will change. You know? Yeah, that's open. Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Like, again, that goes back to the pivot thing. You have to be able to pivot. That will be a sad pivot. You know, I mean, that might be checkmate for me too. Fuck it, let's go. What's the point? But yeah, I don't know. But everyone likes to talk about with it. But no, I'll pivot.
That's what I'm talking about, indeed. So since my man also mentioned eating healthy, your fabulous book, The Gospel of Fire, Strategies for Facing Your Fears, Confronting Your Demons, and Finding Your Purpose. If that book were a food, what would it be and why?
Oh, man. Meat and potatoes. Can't say a vegetable yet because it's not that good. It tastes good, It's not that healthy. There's no vegetable. It's some basics, man. Get up, work hard, meditate, be thankful, exercise. It's you have to take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anything else. If you're overweight, you can't take care of anything else. If you got, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, metabolic syndrome, can't move, can't run, can't fight, can't swim, you can't, basically what I'm saying is you can't exercise for 30 minutes. You're a burden. You're a burden to society. You're not doing your part. Now, this is without like any extra, if something happened to you where you're a paraplegic, quadriplegic, like we're talking normal, everything being equal. If you're going to McDonald's every day, if you're eating fast food, you're a burden. Drinking a lot of soda, alcohol, you are not helping. That's for sure. You're definitely not helping. So get that shit together. And I'm not saying don't drink it. I'm not saying don't have a soda. And I'm not saying, don't have some ice cream every once in a while. Do all those things. But if you can't move, if you couldn't exercise hard, with nothing wrong with you, right? I'm saying no underlying conditions, or no underlying conditions that you didn't give yourself, right? Like, I get it. 500, 400 pounds, you can't do it right now, but you did that to you. Nobody, nobody did that to you. You did that to you for the most likely, So we got to call a spade a spade. If you're fat, stop being fucking fat. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. It's not a good look. It's not healthy. It's not anything. It's hard to respect you. It's not a good look. And it's 100% under your control. None of it is out of your control. You just don't want to do it. You don't have the discipline. You don't have the mindset. But it's 100% under control. Don't eat shit food. It's actually cheaper to not eat shit food. Look, and I eat rather healthy, but my blood pressure went up. I'm genetic, and it went up and we couldn't figure out why. The salt in my diet. So I had to get the salt out. I was 5 times the amount of salt. How long do you think that took me to like, dude, salt, I can cook my ass off, especially some barbecue, like, man, how long do you think it took me to get the salt out of my diet? So my sodium's down and all of like the inflammation pain, like the water retention in my body, gone. My neck doesn't hurt. My back doesn't hurt. My elbows don't hurt. You got issues after you fight for a decade, right? After a pro career, all of it has been gone. I only have muscle fatigue from exercising. And I used to have that plus pain, gone, nothing. But it wasn't like, oh man, okay, I'm going to try, see if I can get there in a month. No, man, today. Why? Because it's completely under my control. Now, look, if I'm saying to exercise hard and change your diet, make sure you talk to your fucking doctor first. I'm not your doctor, but I'm sure your doctor can help you figure out how to do that. But it just takes discipline. It just takes it being 100% your fault. And if it's 100% your fault, well, guess what? It's the best news possible, because you can fix it. Dom, if you're fucking my life, right? If you're the one who's just butchering my life, man, what can I do about it? You're in Baltimore, I'm in Colorado, right? Like, I'm fucked. If you're the one who's fucking my life, right? I'm fucked. But if I'm the one who's fucking my life, I have all the control and all of the influence. Like during slavery, the slaves were fucked, right? They were fucked.
Yeah.
They had no control of their own life. But that's not our situation right now. That's not mine. That's not yours. Don't fucking go to McDonald's. Let's work. It's hard, right? It's hard because we want convenience. We want to look at Instagram and be happy. We want to eat this food right away. Running's too hard. Exercise, riding a bike's too hard. Walking. That's the thing. For the most part, to be healthy, you don't even got to fucking do that much. You just got to walk. You got to watch your diet and walk. If you walk for 40 minutes a day, you're going to lose so much weight. Clean up your diet. You're going to lose so much weight. You're going to get so healthy. You don't got to go do CrossFit. You don't got to do Murph. You don't, like, that's not necessary. It's there's nothing wrong with it. Go ahead, do your thing if that's your thing. But to be baseline healthy and stop being a burden on society, you got to walk. Clean your diet and walk. Done. Checkmate. You don't got to take an ice bath. Look, I like ice baths. I like the sauna. I like all that shit. You don't got to do that. I mean, that's extra credit. It's going to help make you healthier. But we're just talking about baseline. So yeah, get your shit together. Everyone, me included. I'm talking to myself. I have to do it. I have to count it. I have to look at it every day. It's a pain in the ass. But dying's worse.
That's what I'm talking about, indeed. That's what I'm talking about, indeed. So, my goodness, so 2 more questions and let my man make a run for it. And funny enough, I probably should ask this question earlier. So, my goodness, so with your time as a professional fighter, especially making it to the UFC, like, my goodness, what would you consider your biggest lesson learned from all of your fights?
Yeah, you got to believe in yourself, dog. No one ever did it. No one ever accomplished anything thinking they couldn't. And I thought that I couldn't too much. And that's a weird thing to say, right? Because I made it to the top of the game. Right? I'm like, what are you talking about? You have to create an undying, almost unrealistic belief in yourself. And I don't care what you're doing, do it. It's worth it. Every day when my kids leave me, like I drop them off at school, I say, "Who's the man?" And they say, "Me, Dad." They're the man. Because I need that. I need that ingrained in their head. And everyone's like, "Yeah, you worry about them being too cocky and arrogant?" Look, I'd much rather work on bringing it down than building it up. Building it up is so fucking hard. Building it up when it's broken is so fucking hard. All right, last question. What you got?
Well, this is the question everybody gets to answer. So, my goodness, so if you're to wake up tomorrow and you were 25 again, but you're still in the current year, what advice would you give to yourself?
Believe in myself. Believe in myself and chase it, man. Fucking chase it. I was 25 years old. Fucking chase it, homie. Chase it with everything. I did that, but believe in yourself. Just go. Don't worry. Don't hesitate. You're young. You have plenty of time to fuck up. You have plenty of time to fuck up and recover. Kobe said it. Why doubt? Why wonder if it's not going to work out? Of course it's not going to work out. A lot of the times, failure is just a guarantee. Why think about it? Why think about missing the shot? Why think about not getting the job? Why think about not getting the raise? Why think about it? Why think about not getting the girl? What for what? For what? It's a 50% likelihood I get the job. I don't get the job. She says yes to go out with me. She doesn't say yes to go out with me. I win the fight. I lose the fight. You're 50-50. You're always 50-50. It's yes or no. You're looking at binary solutions. Win, lose. That's it. So both are going to happen. Why worry? Do everything in your power. Fucking chase that shit with everything. With all you've got. So that you don't wake up in the morning going, man, I wish I would have done more.
Yeah, that's right indeed. That's right indeed. That's right. He may not be a fan of the book, but my man's been giving the gospel of fire today, baby. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Pastor Eliot,
yeah.
baby. so for those of you to get more of that good old gospel of the wonderful inferno to help them really charge forth to their greatness, what's the best way for folks to do so, my man?
Instagram. So I'm very active on Instagram at FireMarshall205. Go there. I try to respond to everyone, and I try to be as open and honest as I can on Instagram. So yeah, that's it.
Woohoo! Well, there you have it, folks. Reach out to the Fire Marshal himself on the IGs. Follow his great content indeed, because a man kicks out a lot of it too. We'll also put a link to his wonderful podcast.
I don't do the podcast
as well,
anymore.
He's got a
I don't
whole
do the podcast
freaking
anymore. They're all old. But it's not in my sphere of what I said I wanted to do. Maybe I'll come back to it someday, But right now, it's my kids. It's my kids, my wife, my parents, my students, and my athletes. And that's it, and the podcast is not in there.
Boy, the content's still good.
I got a couple hundred episodes. I got a couple hundred episodes for sure.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Because, hey, there's still some gold folks can get out of there. Even though a man's done with it, hey, there's still some gold folks can find in it. So, oh, man. Well, any parting words before we close up shop, my man?
Live your life, baby. Everybody, go out there and live your life. Be good. Don't hurt anybody. I shouldn't say be good. Be kind. Don't cause harm. And live your life. Chase that shit, in the way that you want to chase it. Because you only get one shot at this. You only get one shot at this. Everyone believes in this, or a lot of people believe in this or that afterwards, but we don't fucking know. We have no clue what heaven and hell looks like. And I'm gonna steal this quote from the great Teddy Atlas. I got friends in both places. But while I'm here doing this one, I want to live my life.
If you're hearing this part of the episode, that means you're one cool individual. Thanks a bunch for tuning in, and if you enjoyed what you heard, be sure to share it with at least one other person in your network, bonus points for 3. And be sure to check out the backlog too while you're at it, because there are hundreds of wonderful episodes to choose from as well.